There comes a moment in every life when talent no longer seems enough, when patience feels too slow, when discipline feels too painful. That is when the ego whispers its oldest lie. Become someone else. Wear another face. Borrow another voice. Hide your true nature long enough, and the world will hand you what you could never earn. But the ancient masters warned of a law older than kingdoms and stronger than deception. A mask can fool the eyes, yet it can never transform the spirit beneath it. This is not merely the story of a hungry wolf. It is the story of every person who tried to shortcut mastery instead of walking the path. Every warrior tempted by appearance instead of discipline. Every soul that traded presence for performance. Tonight, we enter an ancient landscape where silence watches every decision, where fear disguises itself as cleverness, and where one careless sound destroys an illusion built with perfect precision. Because in the ancient system of life, your voice will always reveal the spirit you have trained, and no disguise is stronger than the truth. The hunger that corrupts the path. There is a kind of hunger that goes beyond food. It is the hunger for an easier life. It whispers when you are tired. It tells you to stop trying so hard. It says, take the easy way. Nobody will know. This kind of hunger has destroyed many people. Long ago, wise warriors believed that a person's greatest enemy was not outside them, but inside them. Today, science says something similar. When people are stressed or desperate, the brain starts looking for quick rewards instead of making wise, long-term decisions. The battle has never changed. Only the words we use to describe it have. One cold winter, a lonely wolf wandered through a forest. Food had become very hard to find. The rivers were freezing. The rabbits had disappeared. The deer had moved far away. Every day the wolf hunted, but he found almost nothing to eat. His body became thinner. His legs grew weaker. He was hungry all the time. But hunger was not his biggest problem. His biggest problem was impatience. Instead of becoming a better hunter, he started looking for an easier way to survive. One evening, he smelled something wonderful. Fresh sheep, smoke from a fire, and people. He quietly climbed a hill and looked down into a peaceful valley. There, he saw a shepherd watching over a large flock of sheep. Nearby, a sheepdog slept peacefully. The sheep rested together without fear. Everything looked calm. The wolf watched them for a long time. Then a dangerous thought entered his mind. Why do they have such an easy life while I suffer every day? Instead of admiring what he saw, he became jealous. That is how many bad decisions begin. Not with hate, but with comparison. The wolf only saw their peaceful life. He did not see the years the shepherd had spent protecting the sheep. He did not think about how hard the sheepdog had trained to guard the flock. He only saw the reward. He never thought about the work behind it. Many people do the same thing today. They see someone successful and wish they had the same life. But they forget that success usually comes after years of hard work, sacrifice, and discipline. Hidden among the trees stood an old hermit. He had lived in the forest for many years. His clothes were old. His beard was long and gray. His eyes were calm because he had learned to understand both nature and people. He quietly watched the wolf. Then he softly said, "People always think someone else's life is easier because they cannot see the price that was paid." The wolf never heard him. His mind was too busy chasing an easier path. Night slowly covered the valley. The shepherd rested beside his fire. The sheep gathered together. The faithful dog continued sleeping peacefully. The wolf stayed hidden in the darkness. His mind was no longer thinking about becoming stronger. It was thinking about finding a shortcut. This is a choice every person faces at some point. When life becomes difficult, we are tempted to stop growing and start looking for easy answers. Modern scientists have discovered that stress can make people act without thinking carefully. But they have also found that self-control grows stronger the more we practice it. Every time we choose discipline over temptation, we train our minds to become stronger. The old masters understood this long before science explained it. Discipline is like exercising a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. The wolf did not understand this. He believed being clever was better than being disciplined. He thought finding an easy trick was smarter than working hard. Hours passed. The moon rose high above the valley. The wolf kept staring at the flock. Then his eyes noticed something lying beside the sleeping shepherd. A long wooden staff, a thick shepherd's cloak, and a wide hat. The wolf stared at them. Suddenly, an idea filled his mind. What if I don't need to become stronger? What if I can simply look like the shepherd instead? The old hermit looked toward the sky and quietly said, "Fear always searches for shortcuts. Pride wants to look strong. But true strength comes from becoming better, not pretending to be better." The wind carried his words through the trees. The wolf never heard them. His eyes remained fixed on the shepherd's clothes. Without knowing it, he had reached the most important moment of his life. One path required patience, discipline, and years of honest effort. The other promised quick success through deception. The wolf had not stolen anything yet, but in his heart, he had already taken the first step down the wrong path. That very night, the wolf made a decision that would change everything. He chose to wear another man's identity instead of building his own. Wearing another man's spirit, the forest was silent. The moon shone brightly over the valley, covering everything in silver light. The shepherd slept peacefully beside the dying fire. The sheep rested close together. The faithful sheepdog breathed slowly, still asleep. The wolf waited patiently in the darkness. His heart beat faster than ever before. He looked around carefully. No one was watching. Slowly, he crept toward the shepherd. Every step felt dangerous. A dry leaf cracked beneath his paw. He froze. Nothing moved. The shepherd continued sleeping. The dog did not wake. The wolf moved closer. Finally, he reached the shepherd's belongings. The thick cloak, the wide hat, the long wooden staff. For a moment, he hesitated. A quiet voice inside him seemed to ask, "Is this really who you want to become?" But another voice quickly answered, "This is your chance. After tonight, your hard life will be over." The wolf listened to the second voice. He carefully picked up the cloak and wrapped it around his body. It felt heavy. He placed the shepherd's hat on his head. Then he grabbed the wooden staff with his front legs. He looked down at himself. He smiled. "Now I look like the shepherd, but looking like someone and becoming someone are two very different things." The old hermit watched everything from the edge of the forest. He gently shook his head. Then he whispered, "You can borrow another man's clothes, but you cannot borrow his character." The wolf could not hear him. He was too busy admiring himself. He slowly walked toward the flock. But something felt strange. The cloak kept sliding off his back. The staff was awkward to carry. The hat kept falling over his eyes. Every movement felt uncomfortable. He was wearing clothes that were never made for him. Still, he refused to turn back. He believed that if he acted confidently enough, no one would notice. Many people make the same mistake. They think confidence can replace character. They copy someone's appearance. They copy the way they speak. They copy their lifestyle. But they never do the hard work that made those people successful. Real strength cannot be copied. It must be earned. The wolf kept walking, step by step, trying to look calm, trying to look important. But inside, he was full of fear. That is the problem with pretending. You must always worry about being discovered. Truth is peaceful. Lies are exhausting. Modern psychologists have found that pretending to be someone you are not creates stress inside the mind. People who constantly hide their true selves often become anxious because they are always afraid their secret will be exposed. Honesty brings peace. Deception steals it. The wolf finally reached the edge of the flock. The sheep looked up. For a moment, they saw the shepherd's clothes. They did not run. The wolf smiled to himself. It's working. His confidence grew. He took another step, then another. The sheep slowly relaxed again. Everything seemed to be going exactly as he had planned. The wolf began to believe he had outsmarted everyone. He forgot that pride often comes just before failure. The hermit quietly watched from the trees. He spoke softly into the night. The greatest prison is the one we build by pretending. The wind carried his words away. The wolf never heard them. Instead, he imagined his new future. No more hunting. No more cold nights. No more chasing rabbits through the forest. He believed he had finally found the perfect life. But he misunderstood something very important. The shepherd's clothes were never the source of the shepherd's authority. His authority came from years of protecting the flock. The sheep trusted him because he had earned that trust every single day. Respect is never given because of appearance. It is earned through consistent actions. The wolf had stolen the clothes, but he had not earned the trust. Soon, he stood in the middle of the sleeping sheep. His heart raced with excitement. He was only one step away from getting everything he wanted. He looked around proudly. I did it, he thought. I found the easy way. But deep inside, something still felt wrong. No matter how convincing the disguise looked, he was still a wolf. And sooner or later, the truth always finds its voice. The disguise fooled the eyes, but the next sound the wolf made would reveal the soul hiding beneath the clothes. The voice that revealed the soul. The wolf stood quietly among the sleeping sheep. His heart was pounding. He could hardly believe how far he had come. The sheep had accepted him. The shepherd was still asleep. The sheepdog had not moved. For a few moments, everything seemed perfect. The wolf smiled to himself. I was right, he thought. I didn't need to become stronger. I only needed to look the part. That is how pride works. It makes us believe we have won before the battle is over. The old hermit watched from the edge of the forest. He looked at the stars and quietly said, You can fool people's eyes for a while, but you can never fool your true nature forever. The wolf never heard him. He was too busy enjoying his victory. As he looked around, he noticed the biggest sheep lying just a few steps away. It looked healthy, strong, well-fed. The wolf's mouth watered. His hunger returned with great force. For hours, he had been pretending to be a shepherd. But inside, nothing had changed. He was still hungry. He was still a wolf. He slowly moved closer to the sheep. Every step filled him with excitement. He imagined the feast he was about to enjoy. Then something happened. The smell of the sheep became too much for him. His instincts took over. Without thinking, he opened his mouth. Instead of speaking calmly like a shepherd, a loud wolf's howl burst into the night. The peaceful valley shook. The sheep jumped to their feet in fear. They scattered in every direction. The shepherd woke up instantly. The sheepdog opened its eyes and sprang into action. In one moment, everything changed. The wolf froze. His heart dropped. He realized what he had done. His disguise had fooled everyone's eyes, but it could not hide who he truly was. His own voice had exposed him. That is how life often works. People can pretend for a while. They can wear expensive clothes. They can speak impressive words. They can act successful. But sooner or later, their true character shows itself through their actions. Who we really are always comes out in the end. The shepherd quickly grabbed another staff and shouted. The sheepdog charged toward the wolf with fearless courage. The wolf tried to run, but there was a problem. The heavy cloak wrapped around his legs. The shepherd's clothes that once made him feel powerful now slowed him down. He stumbled. He fell. He struggled to stand again. The disguise that promised freedom had become a trap. Fear filled his heart. The dog came closer. The shepherd followed behind. The wolf finally pulled himself free from the heavy cloak. He threw off the hat. The wooden staff fell to the ground. He ran as fast as he could into the dark forest. Branches scratched his body. Sharp rocks cut his paws. He did not stop running until a valley disappeared behind him. Far away, beneath an old tree, the wolf collapsed. His body was shaking. His chest rose and fell with every heavy breath. He had escaped, but he had gained nothing. No sheep, no easy life, only shame. A few moments later, the old hermit slowly walked toward him. This time, the wolf looked up. He was finally ready to listen. The hermit sat beside him and said gently, "You were never defeated by the shepherd. You were never defeated by the dog. You were defeated by the lie you believed." The wolf lowered his head. The hermit continued, "You thought changing your clothes would change your life, but clothes never change the heart. Only discipline can do that." He picked up a small seed lying on the ground. Holding it in his hand, he asked, "Can this seed become a mighty tree overnight?" The wolf quietly shook his head. "No, it needs time. It needs rain. It needs storms, needs patience. So does every strong person." The wolf finally understood. Real strength cannot be stolen. It cannot be borrowed. It cannot be worn like a costume. It must be built one choice at a time. Modern science agrees with this ancient wisdom. Every time we repeat good habits, our brains become stronger at doing the right thing. Small daily actions slowly shape who we become. Character is not built in one big moment. It is built through thousands of small decisions. The wolf stood up. He looked back toward the valley one last time. This time, he felt no jealousy, only understanding. He knew the path ahead would not be easy. He would still face hunger, cold nights, long hunts. But now he understood that the difficult path was also the path that would make him stronger. He turned away from the valley and disappeared into the forest, not as a fake shepherd, but as a wolf ready to become the best version of himself. Because in the end, the greatest victory is not fooling others. It is becoming someone who no longer needs a mask. Final moral of this story: discipline changes who you are. Deception only changes how you look. In the end, your true character will always speak louder than your disguise.